Welcome to Coach's Corner with Jay, with host Jeff Waddell and featuring head coach Jay Socosta. We'll be right back with Jeff and Jay. Let Swiss Lands Realty help you find what you need in home, commercial property, or land. Free gas, country water, outbuildings, 2 rentals, a house and a mobile home, along with an 8-room remodeled farmhouse, 5-bay garage with 2 offices and a bath make this property a great buy on 172 acres located in Center Township. This one won't last long. On the corner of State Route 78 and Bondy Ridge, this 2-story house is on 70 acres with a barn and other outbuildings. Call Swiss Lands Realty at 472-0614.
Hello and welcome to Coach's Corner with Jay. Defense, defense, defense. Are you glad that one's over, Coach?
Yeah, Jeff, it was a little bit too close. When you get a 7-6 score, you don't really have much breathing room, and the defense did do the job, but we're glad that one's behind us.
Those kind of games, Coach, kind of give coaches ulcers and give fans their money's worth. Some fans get ulcers. I thought I was getting one. Coach, it seemed we might be shooting ourselves in the foot there. We had a couple good opportunities in the beginning and couldn't cash in on them, but then they seemed to even out. And I also know that you won't say anything about the officiating, but I will. It seemed like we got homered at home, Coach. Besides the penalties that were called or weren't called, the thing that probably irked me more than anything was when they quieted our fans and our band down when they were down there on that goal line stand. I didn't see Shadyside motion that they couldn't hear. It's just that the referees took it upon themselves to, ask for quiet. And, with the way the game was going and the other calls they were making that were a little questionable, it just kind of got to me. You have any comment on that? Or?
Well, yes, Jeff. I think if, you'd ask people from Shadyside, they'd probably tell you that they got the raw end of the deal as far as officiating is concerned. Especially it's already gotten back to me that they scored a couple, 3 times in that goal line stand. But after we looked at the tape several times, we found that there were several key plays where we felt that maybe there were some calls made that shouldn't have been made and maybe didn't go our way. For an example, the one big call that we were very concerned about and questioned at the time was what they called a head slap on Jeremy Kramer. And after watching the film 3 or 4 times, it wasn't a head slap. It was a good defensive effort on Jeremy's part, but it enabled them to get down in position and then run the ball down inside our 1-yard line and set up that goal line stand. The reference to the officials wanting to quiet our band down, I have to say that our band did a tremendous job with the chant. That's something that I think gears up the players, it gears up the fans, and they did a super job by getting behind the team and playing the chant. And you're right, Shadyside's players didn't ask for quiet, but I think they were getting a lot of flack from the coaches on the sideline. So in that respect, they asked for us to quiet the band down. If not, they threatened us with a 15-yard penalty, and we didn't have much room to give up that time. So we did ask the band to quiet down. But we hope that they continue with that chant in the future because it does create a lot of enthusiasm on everybody's part.
Coach, our biggest break of the night came on what would be termed as confusion on our part. It was 4th down and 6. The punting team was sent out to punt. We were on Shadyside's 39-yard line. Evidently didn't have the right personnel in there. Somebody that was on the punting team wasn't supposed to be in. You was forced to call a timeout. And there isn't much you can do when you've got a punt called and you go out to, with the unit for the punt. But you evidently must have told Scott Wilson to put it out on the 1-inch line, huh?
Well, at first we had considered possibly going because we were in that kind of a gray area. We weren't in what we called the red area where we were going to go for it regardless. But we considered about going for that at that time. But we were just a little bit too far out, and we felt that we wanted to try to pin them in. And Scott couldn't have put the ball in any better position if he had taken it and hand-rolled it down out of bounds because it went inside the pylon just in perfect position to set up, which would have been our only score.
Coach, I think the ball was like on the 1-inch line. I was down there looking at it, but the punting team, the punter was considered a defensive player, and it was just definitely a great defensive effort on our part the whole night. Jeremy Kramer recovered the fumble in the end zone for a touchdown. Then the defense allowed a TD, but they were put in the hole a little bit. The offense coughed up a fumble, and so we kind of took over deep in our own territory. did a good job of holding. They scored on a 4th down play. After they scored there, the defense comes right back. Kenny Majilton blocks that extra point. Then the goal line stand, my land, that was a classic, whether you're playing high school, college, or professional ball. And it's kind of ironic, Coach. Back in 1973, the team that kind of got this whole juggernaut started during your coaching career here, and 16 championships between OVACs and PVCs, couple state playoff berths. 20 years ago, that team had a goal line stand similar to that one, and here we are 20 years later, they're going to be honored this year on their 20-year reunion, so it's kind of ironic, but did it bring back any memories, Coach?
Yes, it did bring back a lot of memories, Jeff. That was a tremendous defensive football team that we had in 1973, our first undefeated season. And I think the only difference was that it was a lot colder that night than it was last Friday against Shadyside. That particular night in 1973, we played Fort Fry, and after having a 7-0 lead, they took the ball right back down to our 1-yard line, 1st and goal. And our defense, answered the challenge, and they stopped them on 4 straight plays at, ironically, again, the same end zone or same goal line as we were at on Friday night. So we are honoring that team this year in their 20-year reunion of our first undefeated team. And I guess maybe it would have been nice if that would have been the game we were honoring them, and they would have been able to see that. I'm sure it would have brought back memories to them as well as us.
Yeah, Coach, it just history seems to repeat itself. So that was the last game of that year, and you ended up 10-0, and we're only into our 2nd game of the season. But hopefully this Redskin team can give us some memories as that 73 team did. We'll be right back with this week's guests, Jeremy Kramer and Scott Wilson.
Masters Garage has recently added a new service to their long list of automotive repairs. They're now rebuilding starters, alternators, and generators. And remember, they specialize in custom exhaust work with the Ben Pearson Muffler Shop, as well as brake work, lube jobs, and oil changes. Masters features a full line of Quaker State products, including oil, filters, lube products, and parts to keep your vehicle in top running condition. Call Masters Garage today at 472-1232.
We're back with Jeremy Kramer. Jeremy, 11 tackles, had a CBL, 1.5 quarterback sacks, fumble recovery for a touchdown. Not a bad night for a defensive player. Congratulations on a good night.
Thank you.
Defense looks pretty sound this year. Just how sound is our defense?
I think better off than it was the past 2 games last year.
At this time last year, you think we were a little further ahead of schedule than...
Yeah.
Okay. Jeremy, defense wins ball games, and it was pretty evident Friday night that defense had big plays. You think we can expect to see more big plays the rest of the year out of this defense?
We keep playing like we are and keep getting better as the season moves on, probably.
Okay. You're a junior. You've played on 2 great Redskin teams this past couple of years. You think great things can continue to happen to this ball club?
Well, if we don't get down flat and take people out of it and just keep playing hard, Redskins we will.
Okay. Peyton City's 2-0. Not the same Peyton City teams that we've played in the last couple of years. They've had some down years, but they seem to be looking pretty strong this year. Bishop Donahue, we went down and we played with enthusiasm, played a good ball game, it was 28-0. Played against Shadyside, we played with enthusiasm. It was a physical, mental, exhausting game, I'm sure, that type of a contest. The mental exhaustion probably lasted for 2 or 3 days with you guys just after that goal line stand. What can we do this week to avoid being flat going down there and we're playing at Peyton City?
Taking it to another team, the Shadyside we did, coming in 1-0. Just taking like any other team.
Taking it as an undefeated team and respect them for being undefeated, right? That's good. Coach, any comments? Jeremy?
Well, Jeremy continues to improve with each game, Jeff. And sometimes, although he excels defensively, his offensive abilities are kind of overshadowed a little bit, but he does a fine job offensively as far as blocking is concerned, and probably one of our best trap blockers that we have, and we do a lot of trapping, but he's a very aggressive football player, and as I mentioned earlier, he had a real good technique, which he was called for a penalty this past Friday, but game in and game out, he continues to do a fine job, and as you mentioned, he's just a junior, so he's got a lot of good football ahead of him.
That's right. Jeremy, thanks for coming on the show. Good luck Friday against Payton City. We'll be right back with Scott Wilson.
It's time to stop by Woodsfield Savings and Loan. We offer a variety of rates and terms to suit your home mortgage needs. Our low rates make owning your own home affordable, and the Woodsfield Savings and Loan is an equal housing lender. Open Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday 9 to 3, Thursday and Saturday 9 to 12, and Friday 9 to 6. We pride ourselves in serving you quickly and efficiently. When it's time for a home mortgage or financial service, call us at Woodsfield Savings and Loan Company.
Here we are with Scott Wilson. Scott, I want to congratulate you on a fine game. Had 6 punts for somewhere around a 30-yard average, but you had 2 key punts, pressure punts. Plus had a fumble recovery there in the first half when we were down knocking on the door and on an option play, and you recovered that fumble. And Scott, got to ask you this question. What's it feel like when you can punt the ball out on the 1-inch line?
Well, Coach told me to go around the sideline and go out of bounds, and I kicked it and just started spinning, and I knew where the hit was going to go out, and luckily it went out on the 1-yard line.
Yeah. Although you've seen a lot of action and started several games last year as a freshman, you're just a sophomore. You feel any added pressure by being just a sophomore?
Last year I got a lot of playing time and made me better, and this year I just take it like a junior high or lower.
Okay, now I'm loading some of these questions on you, and here you are, just sophomore. I don't even ask the seniors some of these complicated questions, but what goes through the mind of a sophomore punter? Okay, now just kind of remember back here. Your defense has just held the opposing team 4 times on the 1-inch line. We can't move the ball out to get a first down, so you're standing in our end zone. And the defense, as I said, just done a tremendous job. And you've already had 1 punt partially blocked. What's going through the mind of that sophomore punter?
I was just hoping Jeremy gave a good snap and went and got the back of the end zone and hopefully get it off.
Okay. Yeah, because we've only got a 1-point lead. Can't afford a safety. What's your thoughts on Payton City this week?
Well, like Jeremy said, taking us 2-0, and like any other team, go out, pump up and threes and play like any other game.
Can you guys avoid being flat this week?
Yeah, we won't be flat.
Okay. Coach?
Well, as you said, Scott is a young football player, but he's got a lot of experience. Last year he got a lot of playing time at tight end position. Didn't punt last year, so this is his first year under the gun handling the punting chores, and he's done a nice job in the first couple ball games, and as we talked already, he couldn't have done any better job putting that ball out on the 1-inch line, which really proved to be the turning point of that ball game. I think a lot of people sometimes take the kicking game for granted, but the kicking game, the special teams are extremely important. We spend a good bit of time on those, and we tell the kids how important it really is to get the job done on the special teams, and that was an excellent punt that Scott put out. But I think even more importantly, the last punt that he punted, from after we held and he punted, they got the ball back to the 20-yard line. We were forced to punt again, and that one he punted, and in fact I think put them back on about their own 30-yard line, and that just about sealed things. So he had 2 key punts, but he's, I think, going to continue to get better as he gains more experience under game situations. And the one thing that kind of goes unnoticed is I see it in practice every day that Scott's improved tremendously in his ability to catch the football. I think as a freshman he didn't have a lot of confidence, and he came in and maybe dropped some balls, but now I see him catching a lot of balls that are even don't look like catchable balls in practice. He's catching. Came up with a big touchdown reception in our first game against Bishop Donahue, so we hope to be able to go to him more as a receiver too offensively.
Scott, thanks for coming on the show. Good luck Friday against Payton City.
Thanks.
Okay, Redskin fans, get your VCR set because we're coming back to take a look at the clips, and you're going to want to record this goal line stand as we're going to talk about and show it, because 20 years from now, you're going to want to get this out and look at it again.
When you're rushed to get to the ball game or just going out of town, call Pizza Shack in Manhattan at 795-5900, and they'll have your order ready when you get there. Choose pizza, subs, sandwiches, or salads. Try our original breadsticks served with our own special sauce and cheese, and you'll understand why they're an absolute favorite. If you're in the mood for spaghetti, lasagna, or chicken dinner, stop in at our St. Mary's shop. The pizza business is our family's livelihood, and we strive to serve a quality product to our customers. Call Pizza Shack today.
Looks to be another hard-hitting performance by the Redskins, Coach.
Well, this is the opening kickoff, and it wasn't a real deep kick, but we had a real nice stick on the opening kickoff. In fact, you'll see the Shadyside ball carrier's helmet came rolling off there. Nice hit by Finn and Lumpy.
Third down play here, Coach. Jeremy Kramer comes through with a big CDL.
We're in a double tight I formation right here, and they try to go to our left side with a little bit of a draw action, and Jeremy Kramer does a nice job at staying home and making the tackle.
Things are going our way, Coach, as Luke Shoemaker blocks this punt.
So we get an early break here. Luke does a nice job getting off the ball quickly. You don't see it really on the film, the actual block, but he blocks Louis Matsakis' kick, and we got three black jerseys around the football, and it sets us up in good field position.
Here we shoot ourselves in the foot, Coach, but Scott Wilson recovers this fumble.
Yeah, this was an opportunity for us to score and in fact, at least kick a field goal, but we kind of botched up the option play here. Scott did get on the football and recovered. We did get a shot at a field goal, but didn't convert.
After gaining 12 yards, Luke comes right back for a 14-yard pickup.
Yeah, we're in a wing right formation here, strong to the right side, and we come back on our Redskin special or counter gap, and we do a real nice job of execution, picking up extra yards.
Dustin Robinson breaks loose for a 10-yard pickup.
This is basically the same play that we just saw Luke pick up yardage on, only out of a different formation. We give the ball, and Dustin cuts back through the left side, does a nice job picking up good yardage.
Destiny seems to be on our side. Look at this punt, 2-inch line.
Well, this may be the punt of the year and maybe the punt of the century. You can't get it any better than this. Whether you're on the high school level or college level or at the NFL level, Scott does a tremendous job here putting the ball out right inside the pylon.
Defense wins ball games. Jonathan Carter knocks it loose. Jeremy Kramer recovers it, touchdown.
This is where you don't want to be if you're on offense, but you like to have a team here defensively, and we had a nice job by our whole front wall, and Johnson came in and made a nice pop, and Jeremy lately dove on the ball for the touchdown, and this proved to be the winner.
We didn't know at the time, but this is the game winner, Coach. Chris Dalrymple makes this one good.
You never know what's going to happen as the game unfolds, but this being our only score, this was a key extra point. A little high snap, but Ricky got the ball down, and Lumpy kicked it through, which ended up being the winning point.
Coach, we're looking at something that just adds that much more class to the football program at Woodsfield High School.
Well, this is something new, Jeff, and I don't know of anybody anywhere, including the Atlanta Braves, that have anything like this. There's a lot of people who do the tomahawk chop, but this is something very, very new. Something that was probably a year in the making, but as a result of a lot of hard work by some people, we were able to get it up and working for the first home game. I'd like to thank Woody Mobley for all his hours of dedication and work and labor in getting these put together. Jim Conley, who put a lot of time and effort in, and right up till the last minute, Don Longwell, and just a number of people like these gentlemen that put a lot of hard work and effort in to get this done for the Redskin fans and the Redskin team. And we sure do appreciate their efforts, because I think it does add quite a bit to the program.
After scoring offensively, Chris Dalrymple comes right back on the defensive side. CDL loss of 2.
Lumpy used a nice swim technique right there defensively, and again makes his presence felt on the defensive side of the ball with a nice tackle.
Larry Nelson makes a reception for a 10-yard pickup.
Well, it seems like we have the offense in gear the way we want it, and Ricky does make a nice throw. Larry makes a nice catch and almost breaks it here, but we're in good field position.
Jonathan Carter, CBL, loss of 2 yards.
Jonathan's played super all year, and here he does a nice job on a go game, getting inside, making a tackle with help from some other Redskins.
Joe Crest does a nice job pass coverage right here, Coach.
And we're on third down. They try to run a little fade route, throw the ball deep in the corner of the end zone, and Joe is right there. He's continued to improve with each game.
Tigers get on the board on the fourth down play, touchdown.
Nice job by their quarterback, Ryan Slack, drops straight back, has a little pressure, but unloads over the middle, and we have a couple missed tackles here, or else we would have taken the football over at this point, but they do a nice job of getting the ball into the end zone for their score.
The right back comes up defense, Coach. Kenny McGilton blocks the extra point.
Watch Kenny jump over top of their center here in a leapfrog fashion and come in and make the block on the kick. Super effort on Kenny's part.
Chris Lynn has a nice pickup of 6 yards here, Coach.
We're in a wing formation here, but we just run a straight dive and run Chris straight at him, and he does a nice job here. We thought maybe with motion going the other way, we might pop him through here on the back side. Good effort on Chris's part.
Set those VCRs, because here comes this goal line stand.
Now, this is the first of what would be a historical goal line stand by the Redskins. First play, they try to go inside with a little fullback right, and we stop them short.
It's a game of inches, Coach. Here we are, second and goal, and we hold again. Larry Nelson, what a good hit here.
Yes, again, Jeff, when you're down here, you've got to have a real gut check as far as keeping them out when they're that close. And our young men come up with another fine effort. In fact, you'll see there the quarterback almost put his knee down for a loss of yardage, but then we had good forward motion and stopped him short.
Third down, Tigers lose 3 yards. Chris Lynn slows him down, and Luke finishes it off.
In the background, you see the old Tomahawks are chopping, and the Redskin defense comes alive again and meets the challenge. So many times when you get down in this situation, it's kind of a given touchdown, but here we're not given an inch. He stops short and tries to bounce to his left, and we've got a lot of pursuit here. Stop him again, short of the goal line.
Tigers line up here for a field goal. They've got a consistent field goal kicker, but this is the one time you probably are glad that we jumped off sides, Coach.
As you can see, Kevin McGilton, with his quickness, came off the ball and jumped across the line of scrimmage. And the reason being that, I asked Kenny afterwards, and he told me that their center picked the ball. You can see him pleading here with the officials. But I guess maybe it proved to be beneficial to us in the fact that they shunned the field goal here and went for the touchdown, and you know the rest is history.
Fourth down, 1.5 yards. Tigers try again.
Out of the power eye, they try to give the ball to Mike Seuss, their key ball carrier. And you notice there on the left side of your screen, Ricky Russell comes diving in and cuts his legs out from underneath him. A lot of support from the other Redskins, and they're shut down for the 5th straight time.
Ricky comes back again, gets an interception down in our 10-yard line.
Yeah, right when we stop them, with a great goal line stand, they get the ball back after we punted, and they're knocking on our door again at the 20. And here you see Rick comes up with a fine interception to give us the football back, and that's exactly what we needed.
Scott Wilson comes through with a nice punt when we needed it, 43 yards.
And we talked about the earlier punt that he put out on the 1-inch line. This was a real big punt here to get it away, number one, and the fact that it wasn't fielded, and we got them back in good field position deeper in their own territory around their 30-yard line.
Larry Nelson does a nice job on this halfback pass attempt.
They really run the option, and off the option they want to throw the ball. The only problem is there wasn't anybody around. There should have been really an intentional grounding call here, but they let it go.
Yeah, J.R. Young sniffs out the screen pass here.
They try to throw the screen they threw earlier by faking the screen to the outside and screening in the middle. But J.R. is at the right place at the right time, makes a nice stop on Seuss.
The F.W. Shoemaker Insurance Agency was established in 1903. They have 3 agents and 3 customer service representatives to give you the kind of service you deserve. Being an independent insurance agency means they represent different companies, allowing them to compare for you. For all of your insurance needs, auto, home, life, bonds, business, or farms, Contact F.W. Shoemaker Insurance Agency at 472-0876.
Coach, Peyton City's 2-0, quite a change from the last couple of years. They've had pretty down years. Who have they played so far, Coach?
They opened their season with a win against Parkersburg Catholic, and then this past week they beat Clay Battelle. So they're 2-0, and that's probably their best start for several years. They've got great tradition at Peyton City over the years, been in the playoffs a number of times, but in the last several years they've struggled a little bit. They're down as far as number of ball players, but they have some quality football players, and they're starting off 2-0, so we're very, very concerned.
Coach, what do you expect to see offensively from them, and who's some of their key players?
Jeff, I'll tell you, offensively, we're liable to see anything because, as a lot of people know, Coach Flannery has a lot of different formations. He's done a lot of different things. He could be tight. He could open it up. You could see trips. You could see no backs. You could see one back in the backfield offensively. You could see a double tight wing tee. You could even see an unbalanced, which they've shown a little bit of unbalanced line. So we have to prepare for everything because they could throw just about anything at us.
Coach, I was talking to Coach Straw, defense coordinator, and he was saying that so far in the first couple of games, it seems like they've basically ran the ball. But they've got a quarterback in there that last year in one game threw for close to 60 times in one game, and maybe it was 60 times. You think maybe they're holding back for the Redskins here, trying not to show anything for us?
Well, I think we'll see something a little different maybe than we have seen in the first couple games that they played. They do have a young quarterback, a sophomore by the name of Todd Neff, who got some experience last year when their starting quarterback, the Bosley boy, was injured. So it's not like he's a first-time quarterback, and he's done a fine job. He can throw the football, as you say, he threw quite a number of times last year when he did get in there and play. They also have some other key players that we'll have to contain if we're going to win. And one of them is a boy that gave us fits last year, an excellent football player, a good athlete, Joff Starcher. And he does the bulk of their ball carrying. He's number 23, so we have to control him and contain him at the line of scrimmage because he has the ability to break the big play and go the distance. Another young man is the Bosley boy's brother from last year, Greg Bosley this year, number 41. He can kill you on special teams. He can also hurt you offensively. Last week he returned a kickoff for a touchdown, which ended up to be the deciding margin of victory. So and they have another young man by the name of Aaron Anderson, number 30, who is a very experienced ball player, senior. We'll probably try to go to him as far as throwing the football to him. So we have to contain these young people and be ready to stop just about anything.
Coach, defensively, you expect to see just a basic defense from them, and who you expect to see as their key players?
Well, there again, defensively, Jeff, we'll have to prepare for just about anything because they have shown a lot of different defenses. We could see a 50 front. We could see a 5-3. We could see a 6-2. We could see a 40. They played a variation of the 40 defense. The team they played last week, Clay Battelle, probably gives a little different look than what we do. So we're not real sure what they're going to do defensively. We'll have to be ready and prepared as we will have to be defensively to face about anything.
Coach, we were fairly emotional in the opener against Bishop Donahue. Looked like our team played with emotion against Shadyside, given the type of ball club Shadyside had. If we wouldn't have played with emotion, we may have come out on the short end of the stick. And that type of game, the goal line stand, you know, the emotional drain, the mental drain that it puts on a football team. We have two big games in a row, and we're going up against a 2-0 ball club, Peyton City. It's down there. Give you any concerns this week?
A lot of concern, Jeff. In fact, I've been telling our young men all week that, you know, last year we opened up with Peyton City, and they were down in numbers, and a lot of people thought it was going to be an easy football game, and it wasn't. If you recall, they were up on us 6-3 at halftime. We had to fight for our life to come out of that game with a victory. And our young men better be prepared to play football come Friday night, because if not, they're going to be, I'm sure, high, and they're going to be ready and prepared. And with them having a good start that they had, being 2-0, I know they've got a lot of momentum going, so we'll have to be ready to meet the challenge.
A win over Woodsfield would definitely send them on their way. They could get a shot into them West Virginia playoffs. So we've got to be up again this week. Coach, want to give a little comment or a little attention here to the upcoming teacher strike. There's been a half-day strike, but there's talk of possibly going full days from 12 noon to 12 midnight. Your thoughts? How's it going to affect the team? Want to comment on that?
Well, it's something that's been on everybody's mind, not just the football team or the coaching staff, but the entire county with the situation that's happened here just recently. And we're in hopes that they'll get back to the negotiating table, which we just got news that they were going to be going back on Friday. We hope that they will get things resolved and we'll get back to normal. We've tried to emphasize to our young men that to try to keep their minds on their education when they're in school and on football, the task that we have at hand, and hopefully we'll get everything resolved soon and things will get back to normal.
Coach, I know you don't like to give this a lot of importance. You don't dwell on it, but a win this Friday night make you number 150. Quite impressive for a small school record. Right now, you're the all-time winningest active coach in the Ohio Valley. People look to you as the dean of coaches of the Ohio Valley. I guess that means you're getting kind of old, old buddy. but anyway, any special meaning this week? 150 coming up?
Well, I really don't think about that. That situation kind of happened when I approached the 100 plateau, and that's really not what's important, Jeff. What's important is that we have the young men accomplishing their goals that they set, and this season is extremely important to these young men as it is to us. And I might add too that I don't look at it as my 150th win. I look at it as 150 wins over a number of years accomplished by a lot of fine football players and a lot of fine coaches that have been with me and have done the job. In fact, when we talk about defense, Coach Stroud does a tremendous job as our defensive coordinator, and the other coaches, contribute heavily day in and day out, and not just this year, but all the years past. And so it's a tribute to them as well as myself. But the most important thing is for us to get the job done Friday night, and the fact that to take another step toward the goals that these young men have set.
Okay, Coach. Well, I just want to wish you luck Friday night. Just want to remind the viewers that the football game Friday night will be seen on TV6 on Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock. See you next week.
It's still hot outside, but fall weather is just around the corner, and so is the Economy Store, with big savings on summer clothes for those 80-degree September and October days, and lots of new fall clothes for those cool autumn nights. The latest in fall suits and dresses on the way for those who like the executive look. If you prefer a more casual look, the Economy Store is the place to go for beautiful sweaters. Mix and match with name brand jeans, dress slacks, skirts, or stirrup pants. And they have accessories in the latest fashion colors. Christmas laylays, dress code, and personal service are waiting for you at the Economy Store.